These are the 5 weirdest Rick and Morty episodes of all time, starting with the time Morty comes across his sister in a way that no one would ever want to happen. In Season 1, Episode 2, titled Lawnmower Dog, Rick invents a device to make the family dog Snuffles more intelligent, because Jerry was mad about how he was peeing on the carpet. Although this device works too well.
Humans understand Snuffles now?
That is awesome.
In fact, it turns Snuffles so hyper-intelligent that he soon realizes how humans have oppressed dogs over the years, which causes him to seek revenge on humans. This leads Snuffles to create an army of dogs with mech suits, all bent on world domination. The dogs do all sorts of crazy things, such as kidnapping news reporters.
What's she saying, Bill?
I think she's saying, I love lasagna.
And even committing acts of terrorism on government buildings. If this isn't weird enough, the episode only gets weirder. Meanwhile, Rick and Morty dive into another strange adventure, this one inspired by the oh-so-boring movie Inception.
It's just like that movie that you keep crowing about.
You talking about Inception?
That's right, Morty. This is gonna be a lot like that, except, it's gonna maybe make sense.
I mean, personally, I thought the movie was pretty good, but I guess Rick doesn't think so. Their goal of this mission is to help Morty pass his math class, so Rick makes a device where they can access people's dreams. Both Rick and Morty sneak into Morty's math teacher's house and enter his dreams, in a bizarre attempt to persuade him to raise Morty's grade through manipulating his mind while he dreams. But things go off the rail quickly. As they jump into his dreams, they find themselves on a plane, so they decide to threaten to blow up the plane if Morty doesn't get better math grades.
Allah Akbar! We're gonna take control of this plane unless Morty Smith gets better grades in math.
But this backfires as Morty's teacher has more control over his dreams than Rick expected, and he fights back. While this is going on, Rick lets Morty know that if they die in someone's dream, that they die for real. That's definitely not a totally weird and scary thing to say while already this deep in trouble. Maybe could have mentioned that earlier, Rick. Things get even worse as the plane door busts open and Rick and Morty are sucked out. They grab onto the character Mrs. Pancakes in order to save themselves from falling, but soon realize that Morty's math teacher still is out to get them. So they decide to now intercept Mrs. Pancake's dreams in order to escape. Doing this puts them in, let's just say, a very weird dream. While in this dream, Morty comes across a version of his sister Summer, which he definitely didn't want to see. The fact that Morty's math teacher has this world buried deep in his subconscious mind to where it is a dream of a person in his dreams really says something, and is definitely very weird and creepy. Dogs taking over the world, as well as coming across this version of your own sister, may be weird. But what about shrinking down to explore the inside of a homeless man's body? Yeah, this one's gonna need some explaining. In Season 1, Episode 3, titled Anatomy Park, Rick is treating a homeless man named Ruben, and gets Morty to shrink down to microscopic size so he can be injected into Ruben's body, in order to find a character named Dr. Xenon Bloom and figure out what's going wrong with Ruben. Shortly after entering Ruben's body, Rick reveals to Morty his bizarre secret project, an amusement park built entirely inside the body of Ruben. Yeah, this in and of itself is already majorly weird. Being shrunk down and put inside a homeless man's body to come across an amusement park which your crazy grandpa has constructed? Who even comes up with this? Right away, the concept itself is hilariously weird. As Morty navigates Anatomy Park, he encounters attractions like Spleen Mountain, Bladder Falls, and Pirates of the Pancreas.
Pirates of the Pancreas?
You got a problem with that last one, Morty? I got a lot of pushback when I pitched it, Morty. I guess I'm still a little defensive.
Don't worry, Rick. I think Pirates of the Pancreas is a fantastic idea. As Morty explores, he finally finds Dr. Xenon Bloom, a sentient amoeba, and his team. Anatomy Park once contained exhibits of horrible diseases, although the diseases have escaped due to Ruben's poor health, leaving a hepatitis A monster lurking around which begins to chase them. Yeah, as I was saying, this episode is definitely a weird level of creative. All while this craziness is going on, Morty's family isn't left out of the weirdness, as they partake in Christmas dinner outside of Ruben's body. And when Jerry's parents show up to the house, it is revealed that they have entered into a polygamous relationship, which Jerry finds very weird. I mean, yeah, imagine this same thing happened at Christmas with your own parents. Definitely would be a fair bit awkward. Going back to Morty's weird adventure, him and the team end up coming across yet another disease monster, gonorrhea. Although this one should be harmless, because Dr. Xenon Bloom states that gonorrhea can't see them if they stand still.
Wait, I was wrong. I was thinking of a T-Rex.
After Ruben dies from getting his body shredded by bullets to fight tuberculosis, his body starts to decay, and Morty needs to escape. So Rick tells him to get to Ruben's left nipple.
Can you get to the left nipple?
Are you kidding? I'm hoping I can get to both of them, Rick.
No, Morty, I'm talking about Ruben's left nipple.
While Morty is doing this, Rick goes into orbit and enlarges Ruben so that Morty can make an easy escape through his nipple, which causes many parts of the world to see a giant man floating in the sky. Yeah, pretty traumatizing for the people that live around where Ruben's midsection is. Oh my. But this isn't the only episode where Rick uses people's bodies for his own personal projects. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel for more content like it. Now let's talk about the next episode. In season 7, episode 4, titled That's Amorte, the episode opens with Rick serving the family some spaghetti, which they absolutely love and give Rick plenty of compliments over. Curious about the secret ingredient, Morty discovers that Rick made it using people. Yes, people. Starting off strong with this episode. Rick then reveals that he got it from a dimension where when people end their own existence, their insides turn to spaghetti. And during Rick's demonstration, upon seeing Rick and Morty's actions, a morgue worker is horrified.
Are you two eating a corpse?
It's okay. It's spaghetti.
Morty, they don't know what that is.
I'm calling the police.
Morty also struggles with knowing how the spaghetti from their spaghetti nights has been sourced, and demands to know the names of the people who provided his spaghetti. Then he ends up even attending the funeral of one of the people, and later tells his own family about what's going on, ruining spaghetti night.
So we were eating people.
I'm afraid so.
Morty ruined spaghetti night.
Correct.
He just had to ruin spaghetti night, didn't he? Randomly one night, a robot shows up outside Morty's window and asks him to come to the Spaghetti People planet, where Morty talks with the president. The president is fascinated with the fact that the people of Earth love spaghetti so much and wants to make it into a business, which at first Morty doesn't like the idea of. But she then reveals to Morty that they actually can ethically source the spaghetti by doing things like harvesting it from people who consent. Morty, upon hearing this, brings this ethically sourced spaghetti back home and makes spaghetti night great again.
Please feel free to finish, Tanya.
No, I think I'm good. Thanks. Tanya, you really were tasty. Actually, can I take her to go?
But during spaghetti night, Rick brings in a can of spaghetti which has been commercialized and is now being sold everywhere.
Hi, I'm Roger Wayne Martyr. I was a serial killer and cannibal, and now I get to kill myself and be food for you, which I suppose is a silver lining to all my misdeeds.
This act left the Spaghetti Planet to become a very grim place, where neighboring planets are visiting in large numbers in order to obtain spaghetti. Rick and Morty see how morally wrong this all feels, so they decide to run a spaghetti ad that shows the entire life of a man who gave his own life in order to become spaghetti. The humanization of this ad disgusts people and causes them to stop purchasing the spaghetti. Overall, this episode is insanely weird and also really makes you think about what kind of things labeled as ethical in the real world actually are rather unethical or disgusting when viewed more objectively. Now for something a little less grim. In Season 2, Episode 4, titled Total Rickall, the Smith household is enjoying a meal with Uncle Steve, who Rick shortly reveals to not be real, but rather is an alien parasite claiming to be a lifelong friend. These parasites implant false memories in those around them to convince the victim that they're trusted loved ones. Even the intro of this episode adds one of the supposed parasite characters, Mr. Poopy Butthole, in it. The parasites give hilariously bizarre flashbacks where the viewers see the family in different enjoyable scenarios with the parasites who are supposed friends or family. As the episode goes on, more random characters keep coming into the picture, ranging from Frankenstein to Pencilvester and more.
Where's my pencil at?
Here, Rick, use me.
Oh, thanks, Pencilvester.
As the house fills up with increasingly absurd personas, paranoia takes over, pushing the family into a ridiculous yet unsettling standoff of being unsure who is real and who isn't. Morty quickly deduces that only the people which the family has bad memories with are real.
Wow, Baby Wizard was a parasite? He set me up with my wife!
Since the parasites can only create positive memories.
I know you're real because I have a ton of bad memories with you.
This bizarre twist leads the family members to start eliminating any character with who they share only happy memories. During this, for some reason, Rick keeps on thinking Summer is a parasite.
If you're not a parasite, you have nothing to fear. So what about Summer?
Why am I always your go-to?
Maybe he just wanted an excuse to kill her. But Morty concludes she isn't one because he remembers a time where she randomly came and kicked him in the nuts while he was watering the lawn. Now that Summer is confirmed to be real, they question Beth. And Summer remembers a time where Beth drunkenly hit her in the face on school picture day. So she's real. But what about Jerry? Well, Beth remembers a time where he let a homeless man attack her with a broken bottle. So he's concluded to also be real. Eventually, they're able to get rid of all of the parasites, so they begin to enjoy dinner. But Beth realizes that something is off, because Mr. Poopy Butthole is at the table with them. So she shoots him, and it is revealed that he wasn't a parasite.
My wife shot a longtime family friend.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, Mr. Poopy Butthole.
This makes Beth feel horrible. And while going through recovery, Mr. Poopy Butthole tells the doctor to let Beth know that he's sorry that she didn't have any bad memories of him. This entire episode is very weird. But the weirdest part is the fact that Mr. Poopy Butthole, who the audience initially thought to be a parasite, somehow was actually real. How though? I don't know, but all of that does really add to the weirdness. Now for some of the most random weirdness the show has to offer. In Season 2, Episode 8, titled Interdimensional Cable 2, Tempting Fate, while at the hospital, the Smith family tune into Rick's chaotic interdimensional cable box, which broadcasts surreal and absurd programming from across infinite universes. The setup of this episode allows for hilariously strange improvised sketches that range from random shows hosted by aliens to utterly bizarre infomercials talking about how plumbuses are made. What even is a plumbus, you may ask? Well, it's this thing obviously, whatever that is, and now you're gonna know how it's created. Awesome!
I always wondered how plumbuses got made.
While watching, they even come across a weird show where two people with what are called eye holes seem to be on a date and things are getting weird. While this is going on, a guy called the Eye Hole Man breaks through their roof and kicks them both, making their eye holes fall to the ground. Right after this, it is revealed that apparently this was a commercial for what seems to be a cereal or a snack called eye holes. That's not weird at all. And Rick lets Morty know a fun fact about eye holes.
You gotta be careful, Morty. If that guy catches you with the box of his eye holes, he comes bursting in through a window and just starts kicking the out of you. But it's worth the risk. They melt in your mouth, Morty.
This is then later a gag that plays out at the end of the episode, when Jerry is shown eating a box of eye holes, and the eye hole man bursts through the window and attacks him. Should have known better not to touch the eye holes, Jerry. While the family is watching all this madness on TV, Jerry is in the hospital dealing with a tough decision about an alien procedure, where if done, his junk will be turned into a heart for the most important man in the universe, who may die if he doesn't get this procedure. Jerry is left struggling with how to get out of feeling like he needs to donate his manhood, and wants to try to find any way possible out. Such as hoping that his wife Beth won't be okay with it and will say something to the doctor, so he doesn't have to say anything himself. Because of course, it's Jerry, and he's too cowardly to speak up. At first, Beth is mad about the idea of the surgery.
These guys, they want to completely remove my penis and use it as an alien's heart, and we just need you to sign off on it.
What?
But the doctor hands her a catalog of prosthetics that Jerry could get, and suddenly she seems more down with the idea of surgery. Wonder why. Jerry ends up thinking he's found a way out when he finds some absurd facts about the man who his junk would be donated to. When talking about these facts to a crowd of aliens awaiting Jerry's decision, it backfires and he realizes why the alien crowd supports the things Jerry views as bad.
I've only just been learning about his accomplishments, from his march on Flirt Blurt Square to his ongoing battle with heroin dependency. He's the best.
You realize heroin makes up 10% of the atmosphere on Shrimply Pibble's home planet.
Right, I know that. I just think, this guy's trying to get out of giving away his penis.
After all of this, it's revealed that everything was for nothing, as enough money has been raised for the surgery to happen without needing Jerry anyway. What a relief for him.
That was an option the whole time? You guys suck!
Yeah, we suck.
The true weirdness of this episode lies in its structure, with no overarching plot and improvised dialogue during the scenes with interdimensional cable.
I'm the eye hole man. I'm the only one that's allowed to have eye holes.
Eye holes. Get them today.
It feels like a strange sketch comedy fever dream. And then the scenes with Jerry on top of that are very bizarre.
Not so fast!
Mr. Smith, what are you doing? Are you insane?
I'm a good person, and I demand that you cut off my penis.
And that entire story is about him finding a way to get out of donating his junk to aliens. What a weird show Rick and Morty is. Out of every episode in this video, which do you think was the weirdest? Let me know in a comment down below. As well, if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy one of my videos where I talk about the scariest episodes of Rick and Morty. That video is on the screen right now. As well, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Have a good one.